jet blue saucer sits beside my glass, watching hurried silhouettes drift past. 10 minutes left before the meeting starts, counting the fractures and forgotten hearts. Subway rumble shaking through the floorboards, trying hard to tune out phantom chord scores. Steamed oat milk separates in amber pools, while 20-somethings act like desperate fools. I wear my winter coat because the heater broke, and swallow words I almost should have spoke. $2.50 for a lukewarm brew, wondering if any of this is true. My calendar notifications flash in red, reminding me of things I left unsaid. An old jazz record plays behind the counter slow. Nowhere else I really need to go, just holding hands with my own ceramic cup before the city traffic forces me to stand right up. The foam dissolves completely to a flat white ring. I leave the tip and don't regret a single thing. A delivery truck scrapes the curb outside and rattles the glass where our coats are piled. You stir your oat milk in quiet grace while looking right past my tired face. 10 minutes late as you always are, tracing the dust on the tabletop. Brake pads squealing down on Broadway Lane. We talk about jobs that we both disdain. Your sneakers are scuffed at the rubber toe, and neither of us has a place to go. The barista calls out an order wrong. We laugh at the name and hum along. You bite your thumbnail and count the hours, waiting for rent in the springtide flowers. Cold tile beneath where our boots are placed, slowing the pace of the rat race chase. Brake pads squealing down on Broadway Lane. We talk about jobs that we both disdain. Your sneakers are scuffed at the rubber toe, and neither of us has a place to go. Keep your eyes on the street side grade. Watch how the shadows begin to fade. We have no answers for 29. Just split this pastry and save the dime. The heavy door swings on a rusted hinge. This gray morning sky takes a golden tinge. Walk down the avenue side by side, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. while subway drafts rattle the floorboards and fringe. A tired barista sweeps dust from the mat, ignoring the rain and the neighborhood cat. He counts out the till with a practice routine before the first commuter disturbs the machine. Old papers pile high by the window seat, where strangers trade secrets to dodge the sleep. A silver ring taps on a chipped white mug while someone forgets how to ask for a hug. She sits by the radiator, keeping time with coins in her pocket that jingle like rhyme. A trench coat is draped on the back of her chair as moisture collects in the tangled damp hair. He slides the dark ceramic across the wood, exchanging a nod that is rarely understood. Old papers pile high by the window seat, where strangers trade secrets to dodge the sleep. A silver ring taps on a chipped white mug while someone forgets how to ask for a hug. The steam rises slowly and blurs out the street as two separate rhythms begin to repeat. No questions are asked and no numbers are swapped, just hours that pause while the traffic has stopped. She gathers her bags as the morning wears thin and leaves a small time for the porter within. The latch clicks behind her, the heavy glass swings, returning the room to the song that it sings. Sudden memory splits the quiet room, a suitcase left in August rain. The barista wipes the stainless steel before the subway train. Subdued keys roll beneath the chatter. A heavy coat slides off a chair. Nobody watches how the gray smoke climbs into the drafty air. An old coat slips across the leather booth, while steam escapes the heavy copper spout. The register prints a number no one reads, and neighborhood kids are walking dogs about. A stranger leaves a dime beside the sink before the double doors begin to swing. A wet leaf clings against the frosted pane where yesterday a poster hung. The radio hums a song in minor keys that someone else has sung. Between the espresso grind and ticking clock, a heavy moment hangs suspended still. The city wakes up slow behind the glass, against its iron will. Paper cups pile high inside the bin. The morning shift begins to trade the keys. Footsteps fade away down concrete stairs, carried on the breeze. Why does a pigeon limp in circles near the curb while steam rises off the asphalt like a ghost? And my phone buzzes with the bank alert that means nothing to the rain outside. Subway rumble shaking the tile floor. 6 people standing staring at the wall, waiting for a liquid cure to hit the vein. Old vinyl spinning soft beats in the back while the barista counts coins in a plastic cup. My neighbor wears a jacket zipped too high and nobody looks up when the glass door swings. Paper napkin folded into awkward squares. The ink from the receipt bleeds on my thumb while a siren wails 2 avenues away, and time stretches like a rubber band about to snap. I left the apartment without locking the deadbolt, or maybe I did. My brain is just static, running on 4 hours of restless sleep and cold tap water. Stir the brown liquid till the spoon hits the ceramic. Leave the tip on the counter next to the rusted tin. Step back out into the gray crowd, moving fast. The weight of the chair holds the shape of my haste, while steam from the counter dissolves into space. You're 30 blocks back with your eyes on the floor, believing the noise that was locked in your drawer. I saved you a seat near the heating duct grate, though you always assumed you arrived much too late. Old blueprints you drafted have faded to gray. That frantic young architect moved far away. We don't need the answers you chase through the dark. The fire you guarded is down to a spark. Your knuckles stay white as you grip the old pen, convinced that the story must start over again. Relax your left shoulder, the coffee is warm. This corner escaped every predicted storm. I know how you count every coin in the tin, afraid that the waiting is where you begin. Look up from the paper, the window is clear. The future you feared is just people right here. I paid for your latte and walked down the street. Go tie up your laces and loosen your feet. No need for the rush to the opposite side. You finally have nothing to prove or to hide. Slides across the chip formica top, tracing rings where heavy mugs would drop. A stranger shifts his trench coat on the seat, watching steam rise from his drying feet. Borrow my pen if the crossword is beating you down. That third difficult clue is a verb of the town. I am only here waiting to see what you write underneath this peculiar amber light. He tears a corner from the paper bag, writes a number where the letters lag, slides the scrap across the laminated grain, speaking softly of the coming rain. Most people keep their eyes inside a glowing screen, ignoring every breathing face between. Borrow my pen if the crossword is beating you down. That third difficult clue is a verb of the town. I am only here waiting to see what you write underneath this peculiar amber light. The paper sits untouched beside my glass, watching the early morning traffic pass. She told me cities taste like copper pennies when it rains, and now I chew that sentence on the corner by the trains. 3 pigeons peck a crust of sourdough near my boots, while underneath the pavement subterranean water shoots. A barista counts his tips with tired knuckles on the sink. Somebody spilled an amber drop of single origin drink. Old batteries are piled neatly by the sugar pack. A woman zips a puffy purple coat across her back. The heavy wooden door swings inward, letting traffic in. A paperback is resting where the counter starts to spin. 4 quarters roll across the tile and stop beneath a stool. A teenager is sketching in a physics notebook rule. The steam wand screeches loud and then cuts off into a sigh. A pair of pigeons argues as a delivery van rolls by. I fold my receipt into a square of jagged white and tuck it in the pocket where I lost my lighter light. The second hand is clicking past the numeral 12. Nobody asks the questions that require us to delve. Heavy wool presses against my wrist. A rough cardigan from 3 years back. The steam from the cup begins to twist while records play quietly on the track. Footsteps echo outside the glass, blurring the shapes of people who pass. That Tuesday afternoon we missed the train, sitting beneath the yellow station sign. You laughed until you spilled the bitter drain and pressed your cold damp fingers into mine. Green tiles gleam under fluorescent light. A stranger drops a metal spoon. My mind drifts backward out of sight into the heat of a July noon. Footsteps echo inside the glass, blurring the shapes of people who passed. That Tuesday afternoon we missed the train, sitting beneath the yellow station sign. You laughed until you spilled the bitter drain, and pressed your cold damp fingers into mine. Fabric stretches and time unwinds, leaving ghosts of old designs. The cup is empty on the wood, just where it always stood. Glows green against the tile. We share a table made of rusted zinc. You hold a ledger filled with toddler names, while I still spill the oat milk from my drink. The kid we drew in margins walks to school. We finally bought that van with sliding doors. The radio plays tracks we used to hate, back when our knees still ached from wooden floors. Old photographs pinned behind the register prove we survived a decade of paying rent before the neighborhood died. You point at a gray hair hiding behind my ear, while pouring cold brew into glasses that we bought last year. The barista wears a sweater that you lost in spring. A bell above the door still rings out flat. We talk about retirement in quiet tones between the bites of slightly burnt ciabatta. Remember when we stressed about the future weeks? Now future is just Tuesday in a booth. The city changed the shape around our favorite blocks, and time proved gentle with the naked truth. 8:29 on the microwave display. We fold the paper and we walk away. The sidewalk warms beneath our matching shoes, with nothing left to prove.
A bent paper clippings down a napkin corner, while the espresso machine hisses its slow steam. My thumb traces a circle on cold ceramic, waiting for a text that stays unread. The barista knows my order without asking. 4 minutes past 9 on a Tuesday shift. Footsteps past the glass with heavy leather soles. Small anxieties collate behind my ribs. Noise cancels out the doubt inside my head, while distant sirens fade into the gray street. A cracked sugar packet spills white crystals, forming tiny dunes beside the porcelain rim. I count the minutes left before the meeting, watching dust motes float inside the window beam. Old conversations loop on repeat, leaving an acidic taste behind my teeth. Leave the coin beside the saucer. Push the heavy glass door outward into the cold air. Rough corduroy catches the edge of the zinc. I wonder what color the barista would think if I order nothing and just watch the steam drifting away like an unwritten dream. Subway schedules clicking in the back of my mind, leaving all the heavy coats and shadows behind. Oh, milk spills across the wooden grain. Footsteps tap a rhythm through the glass pane. Someone left a paperback of poetry unread, while traffic hums a low hum overhead. Frayed polyester lining rubs on my knee. People talking fragments that drift toward me. Dictionaries open to the letter P, wondering if anyone is waiting for me. Subway schedules clicking in the back of my mind, leaving all the heavy coats and shadows behind. Oat milk spills across the wooden grain. Footsteps tap a rhythm through the glass pane. Someone left a paperback of poetry unread, while traffic hums a low hum overhead. Coins clink softly in the ceramic jar. Nobody here knows who you are. Time stretches thin like an old rubber band, fading away before the day is planned. Corduroy sleeves brushing the counter edge. Notes written fast on a paper napkin wedge. The door swings shut and the street gets wide. Nothing to hide. Burnt caramel coats the draft from the door as he counts out the quarters across the oak floor. A faded wool sweater, too large for his frame. He forgets what he ordered and blanks on his name. The steam wand is hissing, a heavy low note, while static electric pulls loose at his coat. He taps the ceramic to test for a crack, while checking the ledger for what he lacks. A train on the overpass rattles the glass. He watches the strangers in gray overcoats pass. She sits by the radiator clicking her pen. She deletes the same paragraph 3 times again. The barista is humming a tune from the past, while freezing rain starts turning to sleet fast. The clock on the wall has a stuttering hand, marking the passage of things unplanned. He taps the ceramic to test for a crack, while checking the ledger for what he lacks. A train on the overpass rattles the glass. He watches the strangers in gray overcoats pass. No words are exchanged at the corner booth seat, just the hum of the fridge and the slush on the street. The cardboard lid seals with a small plastic click. He pockets his change and steps out very quick. A lead toy soldier guards the pepper shaker beside your elbow where the foam is flat. You noticed it before the waiter brought the check. I found it rusting underneath the corner mat. It has no helmet and its rifle is bent. We watch the steam climb upward from the vent. You trade it down for 50 words about the rain. I slide the metal soldier past the sugar stain. Neither of us planned to sit this late in town, while every clock around the block is ticking down. You ask if zinc tastes different in the wintertime. I say it tastes like nickel and a frozen street. The window fogs between us as the traffic starts. We tap our teaspoons to a very quiet beat. Most people leave their papers on the pine wood board. Most people rush to catch the 4-stop train. Instead we count the rivets in the counter base and watch the puddles ripple in the passing lane. The toy is standing safely by the coffee tin. You leave your napkin folded in a tidy square. I fold mine too and wonder where you go from here, before the heavy winter air clears out the square. metal teeth refuse to slide upward tonight. A man counts nickels by the condiment bar. Steam lifts from a cardboard lid held too tight. Sirens drag a lazy note down the boulevard. Subway grates exhale warm dirt into the block. A dog with mismatched ears ignores a fallen leaf. Shadows stretch past 8:30 on the clock. Footsteps tap a rhythm that sounds like brief belief. Brake pads squeal against the damp concrete. A paperback page falls down at 22. Someone drops a sugar packet near my feet. Gray smoke rises from a grate in plain view. Window glass catches the glare of a yellow sign. Fingers trace a ring of moisture left in line. Paper napkins flutter when the door swings wide. Dust motes settle where the light cuts inside. Coins rattle in a paper cup across the street. Cold air settles down to rest upon the seat. The weight of the chair grounds my spine into wood, while steam curls up slowly from paper and lid. You worry too much about doing what's good, and lost all the hours that you should have just lived. A barista is clinking 2 filters of brass, while cars in the drizzle blur past in the glass. 24 years old and terrified of losing face, walking through the rainstorms with a permanent disgrace. Now I drink my dark roast black without a word to spare, wishing I could reach across and move that heavy chair. You practiced your speeches in front of the glass, convinced that the trial would never quite pass. I wish I could tell you the verdict is void. The panic you felt was completely destroyed. Time does not rush like you thought it would do. It lingers right here in the cup and the brew.
Drink up your latte.
The weather is clearing.
Leave all the worrying
right where you're sitting. Buttercup light cuts through the blind, slanted across your oversized sleeves, stirring your oats while checking the time, ignoring the chill of the fallen leaves. You lean in close to read the paper spine, while I count rings of moisture on the pine. Plastic strip slides across the sticky wood, asking if this seed is really free. Words tumble out much better than they Traffic hums soft through double pane glass, watching the pedestrians hurry past. You wear a pin from a record store downtown, talking about the weather and the rusty crown. Most folks keep their eyes locked on a screen, trading small talk like it is a crime. Instead we share a tiny porcelain scene, suspend the pressure of the morning chime. Take the umbrella leaning by the door, I will not need it anymore. She said the subway grate always sounds like brass, while steam escapes the vent across the glass. A man counts nickels on a yellow card, a pigeon tests a puddle in the yard. The ginger tea steep timer finally pings, the barista checks his silver heavy rings. Old paperback books stay propped open wide, while commuter crowds push through and decide. A cracked vinyl booth holds the smell of cold rye. No one looks up when the sirens go by. A dog in a red coat waits by the door. His leash makes a scraping sound on the floor. The chalkboard menu lists oat milk at 4. A torn concert poster hangs near the store. The clock ticks forward on the walnut wall. 3 minutes left before the shadows fall. A plastic spoon drops into the gray bin. The heavy glass door lets the fresh air in. Heavy twill cups brush against the cold counter edge. Steam rises slow from a cardboard cup of chicory blend. 10 blocks from the avenue where we used to lose track. A Tuesday routine brings the old winter right back. Subway dust in my throat from 3 years ago, when you wore that green scarf in the freezing depot. I forgot how your laugh used to bounce off the wall before we packed boxes and let the lease fall. Now barista's bell rings in a different key, and the ghost of your boots takes the seat opposite me. 2 drops of oat milk spilled on the worn laminate. I stare at the stain while the neighborhood starts to wake. A bicycle chain rattles past through the morning chill. Some habits are heavy and take a long time to kill. Coins clink in a tip jar for no reason at all, just passing the time in the narrow brick hall. The paper cup empties. The table is cleared. I walk out alone to the street we both fear. Digital numerals flip to 08. Across the brushed steel of the counterplate, we will be 30 with different hair, trading these footnotes for folding chair. Synthetic steam will rise from copper pipes, while driverless vans deliver transit stripes. Holographic menus flicker on the pane. We split a single pastry in the future rain. No ring on either finger, just the debt we plan, while floating credit chips transfer from hand to hand. Your smart lens reflects the drone traffic stream. We talk about moving away from the scene 10 years from now, and the coffee still tastes like roasted chicory and software waste. And holographic dust will settle on the floor beside the automatic sliding glass front door. We kept the habit even when the grid went green, drinking bitter bean water through a silver screen. The timer counts down to another routine shift. We leave 40 credits as a digital tip, walking apart through the pedestrian haze, back to the rhythm of our modular days.